Hello, my name is Sandra Skinner, and this is the Pecha Kucha presentation of my lesson plan for the Korean proverb monkeys. This is my final project presentation for EDUC 506T. As we go through the next 19 slides in the remaining 6 minutes and 20 seconds, please enjoy the journey. I have designed this lesson for 10th grade Korean high school students who are at a level 1 in language acquisition. A picture is worth 1,000 words. These students look serious about learning, and I'm just as serious about providing them with the tools they'll need for L2 acquisition. Okay, before we can have fun, we have to take care of business. There are benchmarks that we as teachers have to hit in order to prove that we have done our job. In this lesson, my students will analyze a piece of literary work from their own culture and in their primary language, and then translate it into English and interpret its meaning. Although all of the new media literacies are listed here, only 4 of them are critical to this lesson, and they are, in no specific order, transmedia navigation, appropriation, collective intelligence, and networking. Whew, that was a mouthful. Thank you, Jenkins et al. I'm aware that there's a fear of losing a primary language when a second language is being learned, because the primary language isn't being practiced. This lesson was designed to help second language learners learn the new language while retaining their original language. Actually, the use of the primary language is used in teaching the new language. What do I hope to accomplish in this lesson? Well, I want my students to visualize the Korean characters in English. I'm training their eyes to recognize English letters and their ears to hear the pronunciation of those letters. Both the group work and the individual project will reinforce this learning. Oh, Vygotsky, I love your theory on constructivism. By meeting my students where they are in their understanding, I'm able to give them the tools to take them to the next level of their academic growth, one step at a time. Peer-to-peer groups will serve to give them extra support and input on their journey. Speaking of tools, these are the tools we are using for this lesson. A pen and notepad. Yes, I know they may seem archaic in our multimodal world, but that can't be helped. The McCune-Reischel romanization table, our cheat sheet of sorts, will be useful in transliteration, and Back to the Future, the laptops and website resources. Even monkeys fall from trees is the English translation to the Korean proverb. Think about it. Monkeys are expert tree climbers who may fall every now and then, but they will climb again. I chose this as an encouragement for my ESL students. Learning a new language can be frustrating, but even native speakers make mistakes. Just relax and don't give up. Proverbs, what are they, and what are they used for? A proverb is a wise or popular saying, either of unknown or ancient origin, that is based on a useful thought or saying. It's used to give encouragement, provide enlightenment, those aha moments, and give direction when faced with confusion and indecision. Now let's take a look at monkeys. We're going to take it in its original L1 form and transform it into a usable L2 format. Later we'll research another proverb and do the same thing. Once that's done, and since we're on a roll, we're going to make up our own proverb and videotape it for a class presentation. Woohoo! Time for transliteration boot camp. Using the McCune-Reischel table, we're going to look up the Korean characters in the poem and then replace them with their Romanized counterparts. While doing that, we're going to make sure to practice sounding out the Roman letters like the samples shown here. From the Korean characters to the transliteration using romanization, to finding the English translation, we've won half the race when we reach this point. The last hurdle to jump is the interpretation of what the proverb means, its literal meaning, and how it can be applied to one's personal life. Time to practice what we preach. After the lesson, my students will use websites that are provided during the lesson to research another proverb. This will provide additional exposure to the context. The search will also help them develop their research skills. Let the creative juices flow. The goal here is simple. As my students look through the information they've gathered, first on their own and then in collaboration with their peers, they'll begin to have those aha moments. I wonder what insightful proverb they'll create. Ready and action. Proverb presentation take 1. Time to record the new creation so that everyone can learn and enjoy. In groups of 2, my students will record their peers reciting their original work. I'm all for making it interesting. They are welcome to use props and or costumes to add to the video experience. If I could put a title to this slide, it would be, How did my video turn out? Watching one's own performance provides the good, the bad, and the ugly in one shot. It will give my students an opportunity for self-reflection. What areas did I excel in? What areas need improvement? After the presentations, I would like my students to talk about how they felt before and after the project. I think this feedback is important for the whole class to hear because it gives the speaker a chance to express themselves and the listener a chance to relate. I believe that this type of peer review is crucial to their learning development. To assess the success of this lesson, I'm going to ask that my students fill out a survey so that I can get their individual feedback. I'm going to collect these exit cards as they leave the classroom. Based on the feedback I receive, I can plan the next installment of this lesson. Stay tuned for the next adventure. This concludes the Pecha Kucha presentation of my lesson plan for the Korean proverb monkeys. Thank you, Dr. Hodge, for a fun and interesting educational experience. And thank you all for taking this journey with me. I will now leave the remaining time for any questions, comments, and concerns.